lahat ng mga programa natin dito sa KNDI Radio. And kayo po ay nakatutok sa Filam Community Hour with Allan Alvarez. Heard every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, 2 to 3 p.m. Dito lang po sa ating 1270 AM KNDI Radio. Okay, so lagi kong sinasabi to, or this whole week pinag-uusapan natin na meron tayong very special guest today. And I'm so happy that he's able to join us today. And iba kasi kung meron kang kausap na alam ang sinasabi, alam yung ginagawa nila, di ba? It's different when somebody knows what they're doing versus somebody who thinks he knows what he's doing. But anyway, I'm very happy to have here Mr. Ari Jamlang, and he is the Associate Sales Director for SMDC International, and that's SM Development Corporation. So without further ado, para matuto tayo at matutunan natin kung anong nangyayari sa SMDC. Let's please welcome to the program, Mr. RJ Jamlang. Hello, RJ.
Hey, what's up? Aloha, magandang hapon. Everybody in Hawaii, I'm psyched. I'm excited to be here. Thanks, Allan.
Thank you, and thank you very much for coming on. And we're so excited. Alam mo, bago tayo nag-pandemic, everybody was really excited going to the Philippines, di ba? Umuwi, balikbayans, many opportunities. Can you tell us, RJ, what's happening now with SMDC and SM Development Corporation?
Well, things are going great, actually. Before the pandemic, SMDC was like selling condominiums left and right, pancake. And when the pandemic hit, of course, uncertainty came on board. And I was thinking, I, for one, who works for SMDC, I was like thinking, well, paano na yung benta ng real estate ngayon, yung mga condominiums? Bibili pa ba yung mga tao? May pandemic. People are losing jobs left and right. And I was proven wrong because currently the grass is still green. People are still buying. I mean, we closed the year. Allan, this is fresh off my plate here. I got the sales for 2020, and SMDC closed, my division alone closed around 48 billion pesos in 2020. That's around 4 billion pesos a month. So for all you Hawaiians out there not more accustomed with US dollars, that's about 80 million US dollars per month of real estate properties. So pretty much nandyan pa yung mga buyers natin nandyan pa. Medyo nag-change lang ng konti as with everything else because of the pandemic.
Mm-hmm. So, anong masasabi mo, JR, sa mga pinag-iisipan siguro na, baka they were on the fence, hindi sila, they were planning to invest or buy a property, SM man o hindi. What do you have to say to those people, as 2021 comes by, as far as investing in the Philippines?
Well, I would give the same advice I would give to my family and friends. Syempre, yung obvious na lang, di ba? Common sense. If you're there and your current situation is shaky, like you don't know if you will still have a job, your contract is kind of pending, you don't know the uncertainties of what the pandemic or quarantine, the limitations that it will give, then yeah, definitely don't invest. I don't suggest it. But if you're pretty stable, like you're in the medical field, you're in logistics, yan yung mga malalakas ngayon eh. You're a radio DJ, you know what I mean? So, you're safe. And the best time to invest would be now. And I'm not just saying that because I'm from SMDC, pero just between you and me, I'd give you the same advice I give to my friends. It doesn't matter if it's SMDC or any other company. Right now, ang daming mga promo, pare. Daming mga promo nilalabas ng mga real estate developers to entice buyers to come in. So if you're there sitting there with disposable income of around 20,000 a month, man, you should definitely look into it.
20,000 pesos? 20,000 pesos a month?
Yes, that's correct. Pesos yun.
Okay, so that's about, mga $400 yun, at 50, at the 50 exchange rate.
Yeah, that would be a good rule of thumb. I'd say around, if you have $400 a month disposable income or extra income, then you would be qualified or you could consider investing in properties located in the Philippines.
Okay, sabihin natin meron akong 20,000 pesos. I have $400 or $500 to invest. what SM property can I get? Saan ako pwedeng bumili ng SM property?
You know, and just like the SM malls that are everywhere all over the Philippines, there are around over 50 shopping malls, and they've branched out all the way to China. And just the same, kasi yung sabi ni, ni Tatang, before he passed on, he said his dream was to have an SM shopping mall every 20-minute drive away. So that's a lot of malls, man. And with that kind of mentality, they'd like to do the same for condominiums as well. So you notice if you've seen SMDC projects or condominiums, they're either right beside the existing shopping mall, pero kung walang shopping mall, gagawa sila ng mall right underneath the condo. So just to have that convenience and accessibility. So
I think RJ yan ang pinaka I think out of the syempre SM is great. I love the malls. Hindi naman tayo nakakauwi na hindi tayo pupunta sa SM, right? I mean, SM is one of those you got to go, right?
yeah.
What makes it? What makes the condominium, the development, the condos? What makes them so special? In comparison with the SM malls.
I'd say when you buy a condo or you're investing in a condo, you're not really buying it for the space. Because if you wanted space, you'd buy a house. I would say what you're really buying when you invest in a condominium is convenience and accessibility, right? Sa madaling salita, di ba? Pag gusto mo yung tipong mag-elevator ka na lang, nandun na lahat ng grocery, lahat ng makakainan, nandun na yung bangko, nandun na yung pharmacy, just an elevator ride down. And then condominium living is for you. Now that's for someone who's going to use the condominium. But if you're there thinking, you know what, I don't invest in condominiums to use it. I do it for the sake of business, to earn money, rental income, papaupahan mo, or simply buy and sell, flip it. Well, it's also a good investment because of the convenience that it offers and the accessibility. It now becomes something of in demand. Pare, kung in demand yan, di, syempre, prices will keep going up. You can demand higher rental income, etc., etc. You can be able to flip it at a higher value later on in the future.
Okay, now, gusto ko sana, RJ, i-share mo yung kinuwento mo sa akin nung isang araw. You told me na you have other condos, pero meron ka rin condo dyan sa SM Jazz. I think sinabi mo sa akin sa SM Jazz. Pero nung tumama itong COVID, you had a choice of, staying in your other condo or this condo the SM condo. Pwedeng ikwento mo sa listeners natin yung sinabi mo sa akin kung bakit diyan ka imbes na dun sa isang ibang condo.
Yeah, I'm currently staying actually I'm broadcasting straight from Jazz Residences. I would love to show you my unit, man, but it's not prepped up for unit viewing right now. But it's in Makati, for those of you guys who don't know, along Jupiter Street, Bel Air, yung barangay, yung area niya. I currently live here, and as Allan said, I invested in another condominium at a different location. And now, syempre, bago siya, kaka-turnover lang. I'm also thinking, ano kaya yung living experience dun? So I did contemplate on moving there just to experience it. Syempre, bago, di ba? However, walang grocery sa baba nung condominium na yon. And video ako, walang video doon. Video yung bank ko eh. And in comparison to Jazz, parang medyo naging familiar na rin ako sa pamumuhay dito. Why? Because there's a BDO bank downstairs. There's a hypermarket, which is a grocery, an elevator's right away from where I am right now. There's a pharmacy. Siyempre, di ba? COVID, may quarantine. Nung times, especially nag-lockdown dito, and you need like a quarantine pass to go around, medyo pahirapan, there's a lot of restrictions, limitations. It was awesome for me because I didn't need all of those. I just needed to go downstairs and boom, everything I need is there. Necessities lang ba? Pag pinag-usapan natin yung necessities, yun yung masasabi kong advantage from my personal experience of living in an SM condo.
Wow, so ibig mong sabihin, hindi ka na kailangan lalabas, hindi ka kailangan kumuha ng mga permits, hindi ka kailangan kasi all that sounds like a hassle to me, pare. And I think if I were in your shoes, I would be doing the same thing. But if I have a condo, I just go to the elevator, go downstairs, get my groceries, pick
Oh
up
yeah,
some money or pay the bills, and then go back up. Um,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
so would you say, pare, convenience is one of the big things that the SM Development Corporation can provide?
Oh, definitely, most definitely. And it's a one-two punch between convenience and accessibility. When we talk about accessibility naman, it's our access or ang path natin papunta sa mga lugar na pati nating pinupuntahan. The places we frequent often, which in this case would probably be the office because it makes sense. Mondays to Fridays, where do you go? Your office, right? So ideally, you'd like a property that is either walking distance to your office or gives may skyway access right next door or it's right next to the highway so that mabilis ka lang makapunta sa office. And I would say SMDC locations are prime in that regard.
Yeah, so hindi lang convenient na nasa mall ka, convenient din na malapit ka kung saan ka nagtatrabaho.
Oh yeah, definitely. Because if you have one, isipin mo, imagine Monday to Friday, you're living close to where your office is. Saturday to Sunday, saan ka pupunta? Malamang mall tayo mga Pilipino, mall goers tayo, di ba? So if you have a property located where it gives great accessibility to both the offices and the malls, then you got yourself a prime location, a location that's in demand. Regardless kung anong developer may hawak niyan, SM ba yan, Ayala, whatever, or brand X, whatever you have. Yun yung advice ko sa mga friends and family ko. Because yun yung mga condominiums na alam mo, either for use or for investment, tatagal siya at magiging in demand siya talaga as time goes by.
Okay. So I've spoken to many people, and syempre, of course, the SM is great, SM Development Corporation. Pero paano yun sa ating panahon ngayon? I know that maybe later, pag medyo kontrolado na yung COVID, um, things will get better. But how about in the immediate future? Let's say in the next few months, paano kung let's say gustong mag-invest or gustong bumili ng condominium? Uh, can they buy a condo here na hindi sila kailangang bumalik sa Pilipinas para magawa yung transaction? Because RJ, ang daming lumalabas na mga orders, di ba? Minsan it's okay, next day it's not okay. Things are changing all the time. What do you have to say to those who are in that situation?
Yeah, that's a definite concern,
Mhm.
especially during these uncertain times. And what I have to say is SMDC has adapted to the online selling, meaning all transactions. If you'd like to reserve a unit, you can do everything online. Alam mo yung, when we talk to our clients now, email lang pare. Video call, Zoom like this, like what we're doing now. We talk about all the details. And then if they want to reserve, payments can be made through any payment center in Hawaii. Madami naman tayong remittance centers dyan. Anyone who has BDO online can do it also. You can even do it through, we send a credit card payment link. So that's possible. Na pagdating naman sa documents, in-honor lahat via PDF, electronic signing. It's a new age, and the direction of Big Boy, Henry C. Jr., is that digital is the wave of the future. I was surprised, Allan, because when this pandemic hit and we were forced into a lockdown here in the Philippines, many of the developers were not able to adapt quick enough. And in fact, it was interesting enough to read this report based on Lichu Properties. Lichu Properties is a well-established brokerage firm here in the Philippines, and they came out with a report starting March onwards. Ang bentangan lang ng ng buong real estate industry when it comes to condominiums, 50% of it was sold by SMDC, whereas the rest of the developers have they were able to adapt to the new norm, so to speak.
Mhm, mhm. So ibig mong sabihin, kahit na nandito sila, pwede silang bumili ng property uh, online.
Definitely.
Everything can go online. Okay, so paano to? How about if they want to rent the property? Kasi sabihin natin na bibili sila pero matagal pa tong COVID, let's say a year, right? Meron bang paraan or meron bang pagkataon na they can buy it and you can help them rent the property or help generate income from the property?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say more than half of our investors, hindi naman nila actually titirhan yung condo. They just want to have an investment in the Philippines. Alam mo yun, they're gonna sell it in the future pag mataas na yung presyo. But in the meantime, for the prices to rise, papaupahan nila. The good thing right now in the pandemic is maraming pre-selling condominiums, meaning under construction pa siya, hindi pa siya turned over. So while you buy it now, you reserve it now while the price is still low, and then you do like monthly payments of like we discussed earlier, mga 20,000 or $400 lang. But the turnover siya 3 years from now pa, 4 years from now. So kung ganun ang sistema, by then siguro wala nang pandemic, di ba? Meron na tayong cure, meron na tayong effective vaccines and what have you. So perfect siya. By then, things will be booming. Things would have already boomed, including the real estate values and properties. So if you're going to invest by that time, too late na. Medyo mataas na yung presyo by that time. So if you're an opportunist, you'd want to get in on that when you can. If now is that time, then you do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense to you, Allan?
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. And sana nag-make sense yan sa mga nag-iisip na mag-invest sa Pilipinas. Kasi iba pa rin eh. It's different when you're in the Philippines. Diba? Iba yung buhay sa Pilipinas eh. Especially if you're gonna think about this as a retirement option. Anong masasabi mo sa mga ganun? Sa mga people who are looking for retirement properties? Gusto na nilang umuwi sa Pilipinas. What do you say to them?
Yeah, well, if condominium living is for them, especially mga tao na yung gusto sa hospital, we have a lot of projects that are close to the hospitals also kasi healthcare is important to some, right? And for some, gusto lang nila, malling lang sila madalas. Well, we got that, SMDC's got that too. And, from all the savings that they've had in, with US dollars, when they come back in the Philippines, ang laki ng buying power nila eh. So, yeah, ideal siya sa mga retirees.
Yeah, okay. So I want to just, we have a few more minutes, about 5 minutes. Sinasabi mo mga $400, pwede ka nang bumili ng SM property. You mean you can buy, with 400, you can buy any SM property in any property in the Philippines with $400
Of
a
course,
month?
it depends on the location. So, syempre, pare, kung kahit saan naman around the world, if you're located in the most prime location, then it follows that the properties and the prices will also be at a premium, right? But as you go outside, as you go outskirts, further and further away, mas pamura ng pamura yung values ng properties. So 20,000 is a good benchmark or a good rule of thumb. But we have properties that are lower in price, say $300 a month, and we have properties that are more than 400 also.
Pero sa 400, ano na yun, you can find a good SM property.
Oh yeah.
Near a mall.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, malapit sa mall. Yun ang pinaka-importante sa akin, malapit sa mall.
Yeah. Ang maganda kasi sa SMDC, yung strength nila, yung payment terms. So, ang gusto kasi ni Henry C. Jr., our CEO, is that monthly payments can be made affordable to the Filipino. And so, kung iniisip, kung magiging conducive siya for peso or earners here in the Philippines, what more some dollar earners like there in Hawaii? I mean, $400, man, that's like, wag ka lang mag-Starbucks and mag-coffee for a month. Masasave mo na yung $400 na yun eh. Easy.
Totoo yan. Huwag kumain sa labas. Actually, nabawasan yung pagkain sa labas dito because of the COVID, right? So, siguro kung naghahanap kayo, mga tagapakinig natin dyan, naghahanap kayo ng pagkataon or opportunity na mag-invest, pag-isipan nyo SMDC Corporation. Actually, I've had some already friends na nag-invest na sa SMDC and they're very happy about it. Kasi nga kung wala sila doon, napapaupa nila, right? You don't have restrictions for Airbnb, do you? Do you have restrictions like if they're gonna Airbnb their property?
Maganda sa condominium as compared to land. Walang restrictions sa condominium in terms of owning. So even foreigners can own condominiums located in the Philippines. Now, as for leasing it out, wala ding restrictions. You can have it leased out long term or short term. Although, to be honest, I won't really suggest short term as of the moment because the hotel industry and Airbnbs, they're not really doing so well right now because of the situation, because of the virus.
Okay.
But going long term, should it ease up, okay yung rentals. That would be a really good thing.
Okay. All right. RJ, we have a couple of more minutes. Anything else you want to say to our listeners about SMDC?
Thank you for the opportunity, Allan, first and foremost. And existingly, we have so many investors coming from Hawaii already. And we used to do a lot of events when the doors were more wide open, so to speak. And right now, we're making the most out of the online presence. And we would be glad to educate people regarding investments located in the Philippines and all the nitty-gritty things. And for all you guys out there, plug ko na pare. We have our international marketing partner here, Allan Alvarez, is considered our marketing partner for SMDC. So for all the Hawaiian-based investors, go ahead, reach out to Allan on the show, and we'll be glad to help you out.
Okay. All right, RJ, man, maraming salamat, bro. Thank you for coming in and telling us more about it. Sana, as we go through, can we ask you to come back on again on the show?
Hey, man, I had fun today. So yeah, definitely, let's make it happen. We
Okay.
can talk about us too,
Sure, bro. Sure. Maybe we can identify a property and about it, and maybe if you have some pictures, pwede natin ipakita sa live habang live po tayo. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay,
Definitely.
RJ, maraming salamat sa iyo, bro. RJ Jamla, our Associate Sales Director for SMDC International and our marketing partner. Thank you so much. Maraming salamat sa iyo. Best of luck. Stay safe. And we'll see you again soon. Ito po si Allan Alvarez, mga kaibigan, gagawin kakapsat, nagpapaalam, nagpapasalamat, at nagsasabi na mabuhay ang Pilipino sa Hawaii.